Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video I am going to be giving you an update on some more transfer news, keeping you up to date of what players are linked with Manchester United. So I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Jadon Sancho. I am also then going to be giving you the latest news on Jack Grealish. I've been talking with you about Jack Grealish on a regular basis. Then after that, I'm going to be giving you some news on Koulibaly. Haven't negotiated with you about him in the past couple of weeks. And then after that, I'm going to go through with you how Manchester United could line up against Tottenham. As you all know, the season is resuming next month. I think it is starting on the 20th of June. Some reports have said it's the 12th of June. But it depends, on the fitness levels. But it has confirmed, like he updated yesterday, that Tottenham and Man United is going to be the first game back in the Premier League, and it is live on Friday Night Football and that. And these 92 games to play in all competitions. By the way, I don't think they're playing at neutral grounds because too many clubs are protesting against it. And of course, games are going to be played behind closed doors, obviously for public health reasons. And games could be playing behind closed doors, I think, for the a long time. I think all next season, they're supposed to be playing behind closed doors. Like I said to you, I don't know what's happening with the European games. I'm not too sure as well what's happening with the FA Cup games. The last time I heard about that, there was going to be scrapped and that. So anyway, let's start with the news on Jadon Sancho. So according to recent reports today, Manchester United want to get Jadon Sancho in a cut price deal. So we're not willing to pay any more than 60 or 70 million pounds for Sancho. So we're willing to pay 60 or we're willing to pay 70 million pounds. But we are not willing to smash our transfer record for him. Because, don't forget Borussia Dortmund do remain ruthless over their valuation. They have said they want at least 100 million pounds for the player. Some reports have said, they want up to 120 million pounds for Jadon Sancho. Borussia Dortmund have come to accept that, fees will drop in the summer transfer window and that. So they do believe anyway, due to the coronavirus pandemic, that they can convince Jadon Sancho to stay with them. Now, don't forget, reports were coming out last week saying that Borussia Dortmund do expect Sancho to stay with them this summer. And it did actually say we're planning on signing Jadon Sancho in the summer of 2021, which is, of course, next summer and that. But, the Borussia Dortmund managing director came out not too long ago. And, he actually, says that, he wants Jadon Sancho to stay at Borussia Dortmund. Also put, their other players into the equation as well. And he does believe, obviously, with the financial issues with the coronavirus pandemic and stuff, he believes, that loan moves will be increased. So he probably believes, does the Borussia Dortmund managing director, that there'll be more loan moves than permanent moves. Also, too, it's been coming out today as well, saying that, Chelsea are, planning on selling a couple of their players to fund the move for Jadon Sancho, because don't forget, Chelsea have also been in for the player. Now, Chelsea, I think, are looking to offload several players. I think, Zabacosta could be leaving them, Batshuayi could be leaving them. They'll probably get rid of Bakayoko on a permanent transfer because Bakayoko is on loan at the moment. On loan at the moment at Monaco. I think Giroud, he could possibly leave. Marco Alonso, Emerson. So Chelsea are looking to offload several, players. So I think, they need to offload two of them, to fund the move for Jadon Sancho. But reports were coming out, actually, last week as well, mentioning that, Jadon Sancho's transfer would be back home to London. And like I said, if Jadon Sancho does go to London, he will go to Chelsea because, like I mentioned, he won't go to Arsenal because Arsenal won't pay that kind of money for him. I don't think, well, in reality, I don't think they'd be able to afford that anyway. And obviously, Tottenham won't get him because obviously, Daniel Levy won't pay that kind of money for him. Plus, Jose Mourinho's got a bad reputation with the players and he is no longer a good manager now. Well, he had bad reputation with the top players, didn't he, Jose Mourinho, in his 2.5 years with us. And obviously, don't forget, Jadon Sancho began his footballing career in London because he was at Watford for several years and that. So there you go. Don't forget Dimitar Berbatov recently gave his verdict on Jadon Sancho. Obviously, Dimitar Berbatov is a former Manchester United player. And Dimitar Berbatov did say he would be better off staying at Borussia Dortmund, than going to Manchester United, because he doesn't think maybe he thinks it's not the right time for him to come to Manchester United at the moment and that. So there you go. Borussia Dortmund have had a few players on their agenda who could replace Jadon Sancho. Don't forget, Dortmund have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. They let Pulisic go, they let Aubameyang go, they let Kagawa go, they let Mkhitaryan go, Ilkay Gundogan. They let Ousmane Dembele go to Barcelona back in 2017, so he went to Spain. So they have lost quite a few of their imperative players, but generated a lot of money, for the players that they have got rid of in recent years. There's still talks, of possibly Jadon Sancho going to Liverpool, but I'm very, very sceptical about that. Don't forget, it did confirm that we've been in negotiations with Jadon Sancho's agent, for a while. We've also been working on his contract, because it was actually Fabrizio Romano that broke out that news a while back. And obviously Fabrizio Romano tends to be close to Man United, and he is, of course, an Italian journalist. In that. Don't forget, it did say, we're willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7 shirt, because like I said, we've got number 7 vacant at the moment, but we've had a lot of good number 7s up and down the generations, but our recent number 7s, haven't been so good. Like I said, if Jadon Sancho is sold this summer, Manchester City will benefit from it, because I think City do get around 15% of the transfer fee. Sancho, of course, has still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022, but he has had a long-running transfer saga. Obviously, we first expressed our interest in Jadon Sancho back in 2017. This is of course before he went to Borussia Dortmund and that. So we've been in for him, for quite a few years. I've got to say, since his rival in Germany, Jadon Sancho, he has been a revelation. That's one admission I have got to make. Obviously, this is now his 3rd season with Borussia Dortmund. Borussia Dortmund paid, was it around £7 or £8 million in from Man City back in 2017. So Dortmund selling him, they're going to make a huge profit on the player. The main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he didn't get any first-team opportunities. And I've outlined a couple of reasons why it would be beneficial for us to recommend him in, is because he's got a very, very good friendship with Rashford. Plus, he is well proven in the Premier League, and he is only at the age of 20, is Jadon Sancho. Obviously, we need to get qualification for the Champions League anyway to have a greater chance of getting Jadon Sancho in, because if we don't get Champions League football, then, he probably would reject to move to Man United anyway. But yeah, he is one of our priority targets, so we're hoping that we can get him from between 60 to 70 million pounds. But, he's going to cost us at least £100 million, is Jadon Sancho. And he is predominantly a right winger. And don't forget, Manchester United are in search for a right winger. But don't forget, Borussia Dortmund did say that they will not step in Jadon Sancho's way if he does want to leave. Borussia Dortmund is the 3rd club in his playing career. But even if he was to stay next season, Sancho at Dortmund, I think it would be only for next season. And then, he would leave then Borussia Dortmund, because he won't be at Borussia Dortmund for the foreseeable future. Don't forget, the Bundesliga does start this weekend. It does start this weekend, does the Bundesliga. So, yeah. But like I mentioned to you on my video yesterday, if we are to miss out on Jadon Sancho, we are looking at some alternatives to Sancho. And like I mentioned to you, one player that's been on our agenda recently, and that's Rabbi Matondo from Schalke. Now we're seeing him as an alternative to Jadon Sancho. Rabbi Matondo would be a much cheaper solution than Sancho. Of course, he's playing in the Bundesliga now with Schalke. Obviously, this has been his 1st season with Schalke, Rabbi Monitondo's. Obviously, he has got a contract with Schalke until 2023, because when he signed for Schalke last summer, he signed a 4.5 year deal, and Schalke paid just over £11 million for him from Manchester City. He's a former Man City player, was there a few years in their youth setup, but he never got many first-team opportunities. Before he was at City, of course, he was at Cardiff, was the player. Obviously, born in Liverpool, Rabbi Matondo was born in Liverpool, but obviously, moved to Wales at a young age, and now he is only the age of 19, and he is a winner. He made his debut for Schalke against Borussia Mönchengladbach, and he scored his first goal for Schalke against RB Leipzig. So, do you think he would be the right calibre player for Manchester United and that? So, there you go. Now I'm going to delve into news on Jack Grealish from Aston Villa. So the news is on Jack Grealish that, according to recent reports, we are willing to double Jack Grealish's wages if he is to secure a move to Manchester United. Now, I think his wages at Aston Villa at the moment are like £60,000 a week. So we're willing to at least double them, maybe even more than double them. Now, of course, it confirmed when we played Aston Villa earlier on in the season, when we drew 2-2. He said that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had a private conversation with Jack Grealish, over the possible move to Manchester United and that. I do expect Jack Grealish to leave Aston Villa at the end of the season. I do expect it to happen. Obviously, Jack Grealish will probably cost us around £60 or £70 million, providing that Villa don't get relegated. But if Aston Villa are to get relegated, then I think we could get Jack Grealish for around £50 million. Now, don't forget Paul Merson came out not too long ago, and he says that Jack Grealish will 100% leave Aston Villa if Aston Villa do get relegated. Obviously, Jack Grealish has got a contract with Aston Villa until 2023, so still got quite a few years remaining on his contract. I think it did mention as well, regardless of what happens with Pogba, we're still looking to get Jack Grealish on the board. Obviously, up until this point, Jack Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. Of course, he's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been in their senior squad since 2014, and since then, he has become an integral part of their team. Jack Grealish was key for Villa getting to the Carabao Cup final this season, and he was also key for them getting promotion to the Premier League. Don't forget, back in March, he had that incident with his £80,000 Range Rover. And obviously, reflecting on that incident, there was doubts about him coming to Manchester United in the summer. Obviously, I think, reflecting on that incident as well, Jack Grealish got fined around £150,000. But obviously, Jack Grealish had come out and made a public apology. But, before this incident, hours before the incident, Jack Grealish advised people to stay at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. Now, Jack Grealish can play as an attacking midfielder, and he can also play as a winner, and he is well Premier League proven. So let's just put that into the equation. So I think we'd be willing to offer Jack Grealish around £150,000 a week. But I do definitely expect him to leave Aston Villa, and he is one of our priority targets in that. So there you go. So that is the news on Jack Grealish. And don't forget, back in the summer of 2018, Tottenham came very, very close to getting Jack Grealish, but obviously, they didn't get him. And he's only the age of 24. Now, let's delve into news on Kalidou Koulibaly from Napoli. Now, according to Gazzetta dello Sport, which is an Italian outlet, they have come out and said that Koulibaly has made a decision that he wants to leave Napoli at the end of the season. Now, there has been quite a few clubs that have been in for Kalidou Koulibaly. My club, Man United, have been relentlessly linked to him. Liverpool have been linked to him recently. In recent weeks, Liverpool have been in for him. I think they've been in talks with Napoli in that. Because Liverpool obviously, wants to partner up Koulibaly with Virgil van Dijk in their back line. It also mentions that PSG have been in for him. Real Madrid have been in for Kalidou Koulibaly before. So, there's a few clubs that are in for him. Now, don't forget, back in March, Kalidou Koulibaly had told the Napoli president that he obviously, he doesn't want to leave Napoli. Now, it did confirm in April, which was last month. It said, we'd been in negotiations with Kalidou Koulibaly's representatives, and we'd also, been in contact with the Napoli president. Now, League 10 Sport have just come out and they said that Man United and Liverpool have put offers on the table. We believe, Man United and Liverpool believe, they can get him in a cut price deal. The Napoli president did quote out, though, that, Napoli, would want around £90 million to let him go. So, obviously, that figure would make him the most expensive centre-half in the world. But, maybe we could get Koulibaly in the 50 or 60 odd million pound range. I just think on this story regarding Koulibaly, it's just the media justifying their existence. I just don't think, there's a lot of truth in it. He could end up staying at Napoli, but even if he leaves, I just don't think he will come to Manchester United. But like I said to you, I was very, very sceptical anyway I said, didn't I, I don't think we're going to sign a centre-half in the summer because we've got a lot of centre-halves in our team. We've got Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof that are our first-choice centre-halves. We've obviously, got Bay, Into and Zebe that are our backup centre-halves. You've got Fosu Mensah that can play as a centre-half for us. We've got Jones, but, Jones is one of the players that's expected to leave Man United, and Smalling and Rojo are out on loan. We'll get rid of Jones, Smalling and Rojo anyway, so that will make room, to recommend the centre half in. But I just don't think we'll get Kalidou Koulibaly. We was relentlessly linked to him last summer. I think we had, quite a few bids turned down for him last summer, but Napoli weren't willing to let him go last summer. This is Kalidou Koulibaly's sixth season now with Napoli. I think he's played around 233 games in all competitions. Yes, he has. If Napoli, do sell him, though, they will make a huge profit on the player because they only paid around, was it £7 million for him from Genk. Obviously, before he was at Genk, he was at Metz, where he began his career. So, actually, Napoli is the third club in his playing career, and he has got a contract with Napoli until 2023. Don't get me wrong, Kalidou Koulibaly would go well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line, and so too Victor Lindelof and that. He said the other week, by the way, that we've got persistent doubts of Victor Lindelof. We're not planning on selling him and that, but if we was to get a centre-half in, then Victor Lindelof, would face competition. But I don't see Kalidou Koulibaly coming to Manchester United and that. But I'm just basically, reiterating, in a way what the media have basically mentioned today. So that is the latest news on that. Obviously, I've been keeping you up to date of what's been going on with Moussa Dembele as well on a regular basis. Reports have, been coming out recently saying, we've reached a total agreement with Lyon for Moussa Dembele. And reportedly, we've agreed that we will pay around 61 or is it 62 million pounds for the player. I'd love Moussa Dembele at Manchester United. He's a, very, very good player. He is a prolific goal scorer. Don't forget, Lyon did say, well, the Lyon president, he made an admission saying that, Lyon may have to sell Moussa Dembele this summer. Obviously, Moussa Dembele has revealed anyway that he wants to come to Manchester United, and he did say, it will be hard for him to reject to move to Old Trafford. Also, to Chelsea have been in for Moussa Dembele, but he is an out-and-out number 9. Like I said, this has been his second season with Lyon. He's got 42 goals in 88 games for Lyon in all competitions. He's got a contract with Lyon until 2023, so still a few years on his contract. Lyon, of course, did pay £20 million to him from Celtic in the summer of 2018. He did enjoy a few good years with Celtic. I think he scored a good, 52 goals in 94 games for Celtic. And before he was at Celtic, he was at Fulham when he was a lot younger. Obviously, he did really, really well at Fulham. I think he scored 19 goals in 64 competitive matches for Fulham, did Moussa Dembele. So, yeah, looking like, we are going to get him on the board as well. Because I did say, Man United do need a striker. Because obviously, there's uncertainty over Odion Ighalo's future. Me, personally speaking, I don't think we are going to get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer because obviously, Shanghai Shenhua have said, they want £20 million to let him go permanently. Do you think he's worth £20 million to get permanently? Obviously, Odion Ighalo's loan at the football club does expire at the end of this month. Odion Ighalo, don't forget though, did say that he wants his loan extended at the football club. But Shanghai Shenhua have confirmed that they do expect him to return in time for the start of the new Chinese Super League season. I think that actually starts in July. But, we paid around £4 million to get Odion Ighalo on loan. His wages at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week. But to be fair, he's been a very, very good backup to Marcus Rashford. Yeah, he has. He's been a very, very good backup to Marcus Rashford, And he's obviously got 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club as Odion Ighalo. But like I said, in general anyway, there has been a lot of strikers on our agenda and that. But like I said to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is looking to make 3 big signings this summer. So we've already revealed our plans, for the summer transfer market. Obviously, like I've said, the 3 players want to get in is Jude Bellingham, Sancho and Jack Grealish because, they're our priority targets. And like I mentioned, them 3 players are going to cost us around £220 million. Them three players are going to cost us £220 million, something in that range anyway. And Solskjaer, I think, has got a lot of confidence going into the summer transfer market, so he probably believes we can get the right calibre players in. Obviously, you saw my video this morning, didn't you? What I did, is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer good enough for Manchester United? Time will tell, and people, have got different perceptions in that aspect. Some people believe, he's a foreseeable future for Man United and he can get us back, to how he was under Ferguson. Some people believe, we need to recommend a world-class manager in, like a Jurgen Klopp or a Pep Guardiola or something like that. But we're giving Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at least another season at the football club. Solskjaer's job's safe anyway, because Ed Woodward, said on quite a few occasions this season that his job's safe and he is willing to back him in the summer transfer market. Obviously, like I said, Solskjaer said last week that he has made a key transfer statement. So what he means is, we will be enjoying a different summer transfer window, than obviously, the recent transfer windows and that. This is, what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer had said. Obviously, Ed Woodward's been talking a lot anyway, because Ed Woodward did say himself quite a few weeks ago, that we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market. And he's basically, said we won't spend big hundreds of millions of pounds on players, and basically he ruled out big transfers to Manchester United, and that did, Ed Woodward. But yeah, and like I said, Solskjaer's looking to make 3 or 4 signings because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders next season. To become title contenders, yeah. And don't forget, Solskjaer still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United, like he did do last summer and that. He still wants to continue doing this, and he's already identified the areas in the squad where he does want to strengthen up. Obviously, we've got Ed Woodward's got a lot of trustworthy in Solskjaer, because obviously, he confirmed a couple of weeks ago, Ed Woodward, that he's no longer interested in recommending a director of football. So basically we'd abandoned our search for a director of football, because we was in search for a director of football for the last 2 years or so, and there was quite a few names linked with that director's role. But I said at the time we was in for one, we need to recommend someone in, who knows the club well, someone who's obviously got that experience. And I said, didn't I, that's one of the structural changes that we do need at the football club. Like I said, we have really, really improved in the transfer market under Solskjaer. We really, really have. He's obviously, got the players that he wanted in. Obviously, so far, Solskjaer's enjoyed 3 transfer windows at the football club and spent in the excess of £220 million. And they've done well, the players he has recruited in so far. James Bissaka and Harry Maguire have done well, and Bruno Fernandes and Odi Nagalo have also done very, very well. Like I mentioned before, the signing of Bruno Fernandes has definitely saved Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job at Manchester United. It really, really has. But yeah, we've done very, very well in the market, and I think we've been a bit more sensible with our recruitment under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So that's one thing, that has improved under him. Like I said, he's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in as well, because, we have seen, is it like 9 players leaving total? Obviously, some players have gone on permanent transfers. Some players, of course, went out on loan. And he's planning to get rid of around 5 or 6 players in the summer, is Solskjaer. And I've already gone through with you, the players that Manchester United are going to get rid of. I also believe that Solskjaer's promoted the youth very, very well, because, the young players have been given their opportunities this season. Not all of them really, but some of them. Obviously, I've already, the news on Angel Gomez. I think he's going to be leaving the football club. He isn't getting enough chances at Man United. Maybe Tahith Chon needs to be loaned out, because his appearances have also been limited as well. So there you go in that. But the good news is, that we have got a fully fit squad. We have got a fully fit squad when the Premier League does resume, like Solskjaer confirmed. So obviously, Marcus Rashford's going to be back, because, he's been, Carrington recently, stepping up his fitness regime. It did say he's around 80% fit, and Paul Pogba's going to be back. Paul Pogba's only played 8 times this season for the football club and that. But yeah, like I said, Solskjaer was under a lot of pressure earlier on this season. He really, really was under a lot of pressure, was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, because we have enjoyed our worst start to a season ever. But obviously, we was in a good vein of form before the football season got suspended, because we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions and that. So there you go. But I want it to work out under Solskjaer at Man United because, like I said, he was a great player for 11 years for the football club. He flourished under Ferguson's guidance. And this is why I want it to work out under him. And, I've also got to give him a lot of credit because he did really, really well in that 3-month period when he was the interim manager and that. Like I said, there's still things he needs to work on. He needs to work out his best formation because he's been changing formation persistently this season. He also, maybe needs to make a tactical change as well. His approach to the games against lower opposition needs to improve because we haven't been great against lower opposition, but against elite opposition, it's been totally contrast because we've done very, very well against elite opposition this season. So there you go. By the way, there's around 9 players' contracts that are due to expire next year as well, so that's something else, we do need to sort out. But to be fair, we have extended a lot of players' contracts, since Solskjaer got recommended in. But Solskjaer's been here now for 17 months, so he's been at the football club over a year and that. So yeah, so now let's delve into the final topic, and this is how Manchester United could line up against Tottenham. This is how we could line up against them, because I've got an idea anyway, what our best lineup is now, with the current team we've got. I think this is how we'll line up against Tottenham. I think we'll go with the 4-3-3 formation, because we've gone with the 4-3-3 quite a few times under Solskjaer, so I think we'll go with David De Gea in goal, because obviously, David De Gea is our number 1 goalkeeper. We'll go with Wan-Bissaka at right back. We'll go with Harry Maguire and Vitz Lindelof as a centre-back partnership. We'll go with Luke Shaw at left back. Then the 3 in the midfield, obviously, we'll go with Fernandes, Paul Pogba and McTominay. Could possibly be Fred, but, I will go with McTominay. And the 3 up front, you'd obviously, have Marcus Rashford. You'd have Marcus Rashford on the left. Rashford on the left, Daniel James on the right, and Anthony Martial up top. Unless, we put Martial back out on the left. But I think, we'll keep Martial in that number 9 because he's actually, been very effective in that number 9 role this season as Martial. And, with Rashford, I think, he'll play out wide, when he does come back, because Rashford seems to be more effective in that wide position and most of his goals do come from that wide position. So that's my predicted 11, for the game against Tottenham and that. But like I said, it's going to be a very, very good game against Tottenham. Like I said, Jose Mourinho reuniting with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United. Obviously, Solskjaer's already beaten Jose Mourinho once already, because we beaten Tottenham earlier on in the season by 2-1 at Old Trafford. We also beaten them last season 1-0. So Solskjaer's looking to beat Tottenham for the 3rd time as manager, and he's looking to beat Jose Mourinho for the 2nd time. By the way, Tottenham, I think they've got a fully fit squad, haven't they, when the league does resume next month. I think they've got Harry Kane back. They've also got Heung-min Son back. Kane, of course, was out with a hamstring injury. I think Heung-min Son had broken his arm or something like that. Tottenham have had other injuries as well this season. They have Hugo Lloris out at one point. I think they also had Ryan Sessegnon out. Dele Alli, I think, he sustained an injury as well, so there you go. I think probably one of Tottenham's best players this season has probably been Lucas Moura and Heung-min Son, to be quite honest with you. Like I said, I think Jose Mourinho at Tottenham so far has made around, is it 3 signings or is it 2 signings? He brought these players in January, of course. Tottenham got Jedson Fernandes in. They also got Steven Bergwijn in from PSV. And they got Giovanni Lo Celso on a permanent transfer. They have recruited quite a few players in recent years. Don't forget they got Davinson Sanchez from Ajax back in 2017. Of course, didn't they get Tanguy Ndombele last summer from Lyon? I think Tanguy Ndombele is their most expensive signing. Don't forget they got Serge Aurier not too long ago as well. So Tottenham have recruited quite a few players in. But, look, they have lost quite a few of their imperative players as well, because don't forget Tottenham lost Danny Rose on loan to Newcastle in January. They also let Christian Eriksen go after he endured 7 years with Tottenham. So there you go. Tottenham, can't win anything in terms of silverware because they're no longer in the FA Cup. Even if the FA Cup was to come back, obviously they're not in the Champions League. They got knocked out by RB Leipzig. Did you know Tottenham? I can't remember where they are in the league. They're like 6th or 7th, something like that. But I don't see them getting qualification for the Champions League for next season. And Tottenham did make a mistake by recommending Jose Mourinho win, because Jose Mourinho's past his sell-by date as a manager. I think Tottenham, in reality should have kept Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino endured 5.5 years with Tottenham. And analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4 during his tenure. I think the closest Tottenham came to winning the league was back in 2016 when Leicester won it. Don't forget Pochettino got Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final last season. Pochettino, I think, won like 159 games in 293 games he managed in all competitions for Tottenham, won around 113 games in the Premier League out of the 202 he managed in the Premier League. Yes, so his win ratio, was very, very good, Pochettino's. But yeah, Tottenham made a big mistake by getting Jose Mourinho in, and Tottenham, of course, have been very, very critical of him. So that is my predicted 11, how we could line up, when we play Tottenham when the season resumes. When the season resumes. Yeah, and there is 9 games to play in the Premier League. So I definitely think we can get qualification for the Champions League. Obviously, we are sitting 5th at the moment in the Premier League, and we are sitting 3 points behind Chelsea in that. Hopefully, European games can go ahead, because we are into the last 8 of the Europa League, and it is a chance of us, getting some silverware on the board and that. But I am backing Solskjaer, like I said. He's our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Like I said, we've sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era, and that was, of course, David Moyes, Louis van Gaal, and Jose Mourinho. So there you go. And like I said, we haven't dominated football since the Alex Ferguson era. And obviously, Ferguson endured 26 years at Man United. Obviously, retired in 2013. But since his retirement, we have been playing catch-up for the last 6 or 7 years. Let's be honest about that. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes, below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.